Welcome to True Crime Prevention, the podcast that melds true crime with real solutions. I'm Paul DelPonte, and I work with McGruff the Crime Dog. Thank you for joining us. Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to talk to you about something which not only is in the news, but on some days is the news. And of course, I'm talking about the Jeffrey Epstein case. But we're not going to focus about all the political intrigue around it. We're going to focus on the crimes, because if we don't focus on the crimes and what's happening in the widespread nature of child trafficking, illicit sex with minors, we're missing the biggest part of the story. And when we do that, we are giving crime a chance. And we're giving future criminals like Jeffrey Epstein opportunities to commit harms against children. And we have to do better. One thing I've noticed in all the coverage, that there are countless articles about which politician might have been involved, who among the rich and famous visited Epstein's house. But I've talked to a lot of people who've come up to me and said, we don't really know what Epstein did. That's what we're going to talk about today. So it's a little different than our usual broadcast. We're not going to have a guest, and I won't keep you that long because I know you're getting a full dose of this news elsewhere. But let's get into the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein and his sidekick and accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. Obviously, a lot of people know Epstein was among the rich and famous. After his arrest and incarceration awaiting trial, he committed suicide. And there are different rumors around that as well. But again, those rumors don't get at what the crime was. For years, if not decades, Epstein and Maxwell groomed, identified, and cultivated children to attend parties at Epstein's Island and Epstein's estate in Palm Beach, Florida. They did this systematically, deliberately, to cater to the illicit whims of Epstein and his friends. And if you think this is something that only Jeffrey Epstein did, you are vastly mistaken. 12 million children today are trapped in what is considered modern slavery. Almost 100 children a day are lured into sex trafficking. And it's big business. Forced sexual exploitation generates $173 billion a year in illegal profits. That's what the kind of thing we're talking about that happened at Epstein's compound. These are children as young as 14, seeing a bunch of rich old men grab them, take them into bedrooms, and commit horrible acts. These are children, innocent children, lured into a lifestyle, losing their innocence well before their time, behind their parents' back without their parents' knowledge. How does something like this work? A lot of people hear about sex trafficking. Well, how does somebody get trapped? How do they get away? Generally speaking, they're lured. That was Maxwell's role. She was the enabler. And there's talk about clemency and a pardon. And I'll be blunt. That's insane. Somebody who commits those crimes against children deserves a full sentence and serving their time. There is no excuse in a civilized society to commit that kind of abuse intentionally for children, either for money or someone's personal pleasure. It is just simply wrong. What upsets me about the news coverage is they're not talking about that aspect and element of the crime. It's all about this intrigue of who knew, who didn't know. But let's be blunt. These are all people who at some level knew what was happening at the parties they were invited to. Not only was a little bit wrong, it was vile. And to the extent that it's prolific, our good friends and colleagues at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they keep files on these types of things with evidence, with photos, things that you don't want to see. But we have to confront the reality of the crime. And it's not hundreds. It's not thousands. It's not tens of thousands. It's not even just millions. It's tens of millions of files. Things that people would find stomach-turning, gut-wrenching, disgusting things that happened at the Epstein compound. This is the kind of thing we're talking about. It's more than just who knew and when did they know and all that kind of thing. So next time you read a story or you see it on TV or listen to it on another podcast and you hear a lot of political commentary, remember what the crime was. Because if we don't remember what the crime was, we're giving criminals like Jeffrey Epstein a chance. And when it comes to children, we can't afford to give them a chance. So thank you for tuning into this special episode. If you'd like to see more of these, or if you would like us to have on an expert on child exploitation, leave a note in the comments. And as always, don't forget to click like and subscribe and tell your friends. Each week, we come on with a guest and we talk about real crimes and real solutions. Again, I'm Paul DelPonte on behalf of McGruff the Crime Dog and the National Crime Prevention Council. Thanks for listening.